We have a new Mini Cooper, John Cooper Works for 2025 model year. I'm just gonna jump straight to the point. This is a massive, monumental disappointment. And before you get crazy and start yelling at me, let me explain exactly why. And after that, you can make up your mind if you agree with me or not. What we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna have a look at this design, which, by the way, the design looks fantastic. It's a really cool looking Mini, this thing, but everything else is just major disappointment. Before we jump in and have a look at the comparison between this and the previous generation in Photoshop from front, side, and rear and the interior, I want to show you what's going on. Electric 2025 Mini Cooper gets John Cooper Works looks, but no added grunt. Okay, so first of all, it's electric. Sure, it's a Mini, it's the type of proportions that maybe would suit to be electric, but I think it's very boring that they put the electric motor in the John Cooper Works, and it retains the standard model's 215 horsepower electric motor and has the same 250 miles of range. Okay, so they didn't change the drivetrain, but maybe they updated maybe the suspension, some cooler brakes or something like that. So let's see what's going on here. So special John Cooper Works trim for the punchy hatchback that gives it some classic JCW looks without the extreme performance. What kind of sentence is this? Why would it be without the extreme performance? That's exactly why you're buying a John Cooper Works. So it's basically only about the appearance. A new front grille surround and logo finished in high gloss black. Very cool. As I said, the design looks great. There are some weird features in here that we're gonna talk about in a minute. And the hatch also features individual light signatures in the LED headlights, including two simple horizontal stripes serving as the DRLs. You also get some specific wheels for the John Cooper Works. At least we get that. We get special 18-inch 10-spoke wheels with two-tone design, looking great. But just driving around in this and knowing that it is the exact same car underneath as the regular Mini Cooper SC, it just doesn't make sense to me. Sportier seat with synthetic leather and red stitching. The dashboard and door panels also have a unique black and red theme, and the large central infotainment screen. Now you just have a big central piece for the infotainment system. I'm gonna have a look at that in a minute and compare it to the previous one. Greta here is very intrigued in what's going on as well with this Mini Cooper. You have no mechanical upgrades have been made, so you don't even get a different suspension or better brakes or anything like that. And as a result, the Cooper SE John Cooper Works trim is still powered by the single motor with 215 horsepower, and 0 to 60 is done in a respectable 6.7 seconds. I don't think that's respectable at all. Maybe for the Cooper SC, the normal one, but not for the John Cooper Works, because have a look at this. If we look at the 2023 here, this is even the convertible. 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, 228 horsepower, turbocharged 2-liter inline 4. You want to have that noise in the John Cooper. You keep the normal Mini Cooper, make that electric, do whatever you want with it. But when it comes to this, we need to have a bit more of a driver engagement in the drivetrain. And this previous one also, of course, came with a 6-speed manual or the 8-speed automatic. The all-new electric Mini Cooper SC in the John Cooper Works trim combines a passion for iconic design. Okay, I get the iconic design part, but combines with what? What did they say here? Legendary performance and sustainable mobility. I don't agree at all with that, because as I said, it is the exact same car as the regular Mini Cooper. So let's check out this design, because at least the design of the Mini Cooper for 2025 looks pretty cool. I'm gonna give them that. So as you can see right here in this beautiful collage that I made up for you, on the left side we do have the 2025 model year. On the right side we do have the 2023/24, I guess, model year. So we're gonna go through this, and you can see just how alike this is to the previous generation. I love this design. I always love the Mini Cooper design because it's such a fun design. It's a car that didn't follow the trend of, you know, making everything look aggressive, like even the Toyota Corolla these days look aggressive. I don't understand why. But here we have a round, friendly face with a big grille in the middle opening up, and then we have a hood scoop right here. I'm not sure. I don't think this is functional in this case, but it still looks cool. It's just some fun design details. We have a big scoops in the bottom section for the John Cooper Works and some plastic pieces here on the side. Definitely has a connection to the original. And I do think we still have that vibe in the 2025 model year. The only thing that I'm a little bit confused by. We have a very round design overall. It's still very reminiscent of the original Mini Cooper, but then we have, as they said in the article, we have these two bars like clashing so hard with everything else that goes on in the graphics. Not sure why they added these two bars here. Maybe just thinking, okay, we've made round lights now for 50 years. Maybe we can try to just do something else. Still want to have a round light, but let's just put two LED bars like this randomly in the middle and clash completely with the circular outline that we have of the headlight. But other than that, it's a very clean design. I still love this design because it still has a very friendly look. It didn't become more aggressive at all from the previous generation. Still have this framing for the nose or the mouth in the front end. And even though this is electric, we still have some openings down here in the middle. I also like this section, this separation piece in the middle. It just makes it look a lot sportier and definitely brings in this John Cooper Works design in the front end, with of course the red stripes that you have right here on the hood and the red side mirrors. Last but not least, you also have a red roof up top. Now looking at it from a side view, still has the same pretty much identical proportions as we have in the 2023 model year, with this very rounded front end. Then it goes into a very clean straight shoulder line and also this sharp corner up top in the greenhouse with the red roof, creating some very unique design features for the Mini Cooper. It's always been a unique design, the Mini Cooper, and same goes for the new one. We have a little bit more of a chiseled design, because have a look at this, for example, this piece cutting into the body line at the lower section. I think this actually looks really good because it sort of plants the car in a nice way visually. Looks like we also have some beefier fenders, because you can see this reflection right here looks way more pronounced than the reflection that we have in the 2023 model year. So beefier fenders, making it look very much planted from a 3/4 rear view, which we're gonna have a look at in a minute. And again, we also have the red roof, but now we have a much more pronounced spoiler, or I'm not sure what to call this, like a ABC pillar wing attachment to the rear end. I also like the taillights, even though they look a little bit clashy with the front end graphics because they're so chiseled compared to the round front end. But the roundness that we have here in the front is still intact in the 2023 model year, and I'm glad that they didn't make this into just a silhouette or an ellipse, I mean, on wheels, just because it's electric. It still looks like a internal combustion engine Mini Cooper, but unfortunately, as we know by now, it's not. So here we have the rear end of the 2023 and the 2025, and I do love these taillights, big taillights. These look almost oversized, and I think that is on purpose because you want to have the Mini look like a small car. And how can you do that if you play with graphics? One thing you can do is exactly what they did here, to simply oversize the taillights, shrinking the rest of the body around it, and then we have the Union Jack pattern in here, looking fantastic. Some of the coolest looking taillights on any production car in this Mini, in my opinion. Further down, we do have this very aggressive diffuser looking so nice and sporty, and we also have these wings in the diffuser adding some more aggressiveness to it. And of course, the tailpipes for a Mini Cooper are supposed to be in the middle, and that's exactly where I want to have them here as well. I would like to have a little bit better stance for this. You can see just how far the gap, or how big the gap is here, and also how far the wheel sits inside of the body. I want to push them out a little bit more. Now, looking at the 2025 model year, and again, the design is just really nice. It's super cool to see what they did here, the changes, because they added a couple of key lines here in the body. You have a subtle line in the front and the back, and this line that we talked about in the side view, just adding a little bit more of a styling features to this in all of the roundness that we had in the previous generation. We also have a chamfer here going around this now very sharp taillight, but you can see that we still have a sort of a Union Jack pattern in the taillight of the 2025 model year. And I actually like what they did here, even though it kind of clashes a little bit. If you look at these designs here, compare this to the roundness in the front end, I think that's the reason why they put two LED bars here, very static, because they felt like it's too big of a clash to have such a triangular taillight and a round headlight. So we need to make this a little bit more static. So let's add two LEDs there. That's my theory of why they added those lights in the front end. Then we have this bar in the middle with the Cooper S integrated in the center, blacked out logo. We have this wing in the back looking super cool and definitely adds to the sportiness and design of the John Cooper Works. Further down we have a sort of aggressive diffuser, I would say, for a Mini Cooper. We still have the wings intact, but something is missing right there. What is that? That is of course going to be the exhaust pipes. Now looking at the interior, and this is where I think just interiors overall in car design today is just going downhill fast, even though this is not one of the worst examples I've seen. 100% I prefer the old one. Simple reason, it just feels more cozy and homey to sit in and drive for a long time, because we have a lot more feature, like designing stylized elements in here. It's not stripped down of its personality like we have in the 2025 model year, where everything is just very clean and simple. But simple and clean should be, I think that suits more for an exterior design of the car, but the interior should feel like a home with a lot more personality in it. And right now what car companies is doing is just stripping away every sort of personality that we have in the interior designs, and it's just a shame. But still, we did have a gauge cluster in the 2023 model year here. Not, you know, it's almost like a iPad on the dash, but it does have a bit of a styling to it and looking unique because it has this elliptical shape to it. Implement the exterior roundness into all the details in the interior as well. Beautiful steering wheel. We do have some physical buttons down here and toggles that you just want to feel and switch and listen to the noises that they make, the click sounds. And then we have this big infotainment screen looking beautifully integrated with this wave going above it. Beautiful interior for 2023. As you can see, 2025, we still have a couple of buttons down here. I don't think these are for the climate control settings. I do believe everything is now housed as we become used to in the software itself, because this is pretty much the entire control panel. You do have the gear selector here, and these probably might be for some drive modes or something like that. I do love the steering wheel design and the update they did here, because they added the same kind of subtle chiseledness that we have on the exterior changes. They added that in the steering wheel as well. It's not as bubbly and rounded as the previous one, but still has this mini identity to it. Overall, what I don't understand is, to me, this feels like a very lazy car to me, lazy trim level. The John Cooper Works has always been a special version of the Mini Cooper, and this is just a regular Mini Cooper with some wings and stuff added onto it with no extra performance. I love the Minis, but I do believe that, you know, the die-hard Mini fans are not gonna be satisfied by having the John Cooper Works be just another Mini Cooper with some added C-pillar wings attached to it.